introducing to you one more time, fighting out of the red corner from Tsunami Norfolk. Give it up for Chey, Veal. And his opponent standing across the cage in the blue corner from Force MMA. Put your hands together for Robert Redford. This mixed martial arts contest will be fought over three-minute rounds. Your referee in charge of the action, Mr. A.J. Jeffrey.
And my goodness, I'm still calming down from that show from Jake Nichols, good lord. So here we are back into MMA action. We've got Chey Veal from Tsunami Norfolk in the red corner, fighting under the MMA pioneer Lee Dosky, who's in his corner tonight. And we've got Robert Redford in the blue corner, fighting out Force MMA. It's going to be fought over three-minute rounds, amateur MMA rules. I'm just getting ready now. A.J. Jeffrey going to call the fighters into action. Here we go, round one.
Veal's worked on that power in his striking. You can see there from the squatted stance, he's utilised him. He's worked on the submissions on the ground. He's opting to get to the top position when he gets down to the mat. Oh, outside trip here.
Nice takedown from Veal. Redford working his way back to his feet though.
Textbook stand up there for you. Hips back to the cage, post the arm out and extend your legs up to your hand. He's losing the whizzer there. He's got the right arm of Veal trapped with his left arm, the overhook there. It's called the whizzer. It's going to serve to hype Veal up, to make it harder for him to drop down, get below those hips, clasp for a takedown.
These exchanges are really grueling. This grappling exchange will really sap the energy tank very, very quickly indeed. As Veal's still working for that takedown, putting Redford against the fence, pulling him off now, still looking for that trip. Lands a nice punch.
Redford's got to start thinking about forcing his hands underneath the armpits there. It's called the underhooks, and gain a better, more favourable position. As you can see, Chey Veal here he's got both arms underneath the arms. You can see there's the pummel, and immediately he turns him.
Nice work from Redford, but Veal lands a nice knee, nice right hand over the top there from Redford. Now he's the man pushing Veal to the cage.
This is often a battle fought in silence here. People don't really know what's going on the outside. They just think, oh, the guy's kind of just going back and forth. But it's a play of position, a play of weight. It's a game of inches. There's a certain time when your opponent's weight and balance is not evenly distributed, and you take advantage of that and obtain the takedown.
Absolutely, Dean. And as I was saying, it's an incredibly grueling way of fighting as well, isn't it? It saps the energy very, very quickly. All this grappling, you're using maximum strength all the time to try and get the dominant position. Veal just landed a nice knee there, pulled his man onto it, Muay Thai style. We're still in this kind of battle for position against the cage.
It's a clash of swords here in this position. You feel out where your opponent's strong, where his defense is, where he's weak, which takedowns present themselves more often, and you try and work your way there. But like you said, it is taxing on the cardio, back and forth switches, pressure, foot movement, pummeling. It takes a lot out of a fighter.
And both guys seem quite happy for this exchange to continue. Redford dropping now for a single leg. See if he can complete this takedown on Veal. Veal now looking to tie up a guillotine.
Redford looking for the head outside single takedown, but he didn't bow onto the leg and circle away from the cage. That exposed his neck. He defended it quite correctly there, working the hands, hand fighting his neck out of that position.
Absolutely, and this entire round has basically been fought in this same kind of clinch grappling position. Neither guy's really had the better of it, but they both seem quite happy to be in this situation.
Redford using the head there underneath the chin of Veal, serves some more control.
And wow, as I say, I think the whole round is going to be in this position. This has been some intense grappling. Veal just stumbles over at the end, but wow, what a difficult round that would be to score. And also for both fighters, that's going to have depleted their gas tanks a bit.
Be interested to see what their corners give them instructions going into this second round. Almost certainly they've kind of evened it out in the clinch position to perhaps work some dirty boxing there at close range, use the punches to open up takedowns, or even try and sort of sell the takedown with the strikes. You set up your strikes, go upstairs, force your opponent's hands upstairs, then change levels and go for the takedown.
Absolutely, as I said, both guys seem quite happy to play that out on the feet in that manner, but you've got to think that someone needs to take the initiative in this second round here and move to look to establish dominance, whether that means standing on the feet or really driving for that takedown. I know Chey Veal's powerful, he's obviously squat, he's got a good right hand. We saw him fight Jake Nichols, an absolute crack of a fight a couple of contenders ago. He pushed him all the way, we know how good Jake Nichols is, so Chey Veal is certainly very, very talented as we get ready here for round two. Here we go then, getting ready for round 2. AJ Jeffrey going to get us underway. And here we go, round 2.
Redford looking for the leg kicks and returned by Veal. Nice strikes, powerful hooks there from Redford.
Oh, Redford landed a huge right hand there on Veal. Rocked him, Veal has got a great chin on him though.
This is what I'm talking about, the dirty boxing in this position when you've got a close quarter fight against your opponent, to mix those strikes to the body and come up the centre to attack the head.
Nice knee from Veal. Redford now looking to press the advantage. He landed a huge right hand there, the most significant shot of the fight. Definitely rocked Veal a little bit. He's getting a bit of time to recover here in these grappling exchanges though, clear the head a bit.
And Redford is listening to his corner. They're shouting head position. What they want him to do is get his head underneath the chin of Veal and lever it up.
We find ourselves back in this grappling exchange again. More in the centre of the cage this time. Both guys giving their all here on Contenders. Pleasure to be here. Mark Heath here with Dean Midhat, Epic Studios, Contenders 22. See what's happening here. Was there a low blow?
Yeah, Veal went for the knee up the centre and Redford kind of backed off to disengage, and with just the trail end of the foot just glanced the cup there, so he's going to get a bit of time to recover.
And of course he's entitled to 5 minutes, and it's be wise to take as much as he can, so he doesn't want to go back into battle in any way diminished. AJ Jeffrey's just going to warn Chey Veal, obviously complete accident, these things happen in the heat of battle. We're going to get back into the action now, so let's go. Continue round 2.
Veal's got to keep this guard up, nice and tight. He's got to use his hands to set up the shot, change levels after he's landed those punches to the upper extremities of Redford.
Absolutely, Redford's landing some nice right hands here in the kind of clinch. He's got one arm behind Veal's head and he's landing the right hand over the top. He's landed certainly the most significant shots of the fight in this round. Veal sticking to him like a limpet, pushing him to the cage. Redford returns him.
This is a battle of head positions and underhooks here. Both athletes are trying to get their arms underneath the two of their opponent. Nice knee there from Veal.
Absolutely, and that's a perfect way to use Redford's aggression against him, is pull him onto that perfect Muay Thai knee. They call it the plum, and just pull your opponent, use his aggression against him. But now Redford's got Veal on the floor for the first time.
Redford using the head pressure there to obtain that takedown. As it ends up on top, he's got to pass the legs of his opponent here and circle around to a more advantageous position. You see there that Veal's holding on to the left leg of Redford. He's got the half guard. He's serving to try and control, pull down the head and work his way around just to that, which is nearly the full guard position. Walking up for an armbar attempt here.
Veal's certainly thinking about throwing up a submission attempt.
He's got to pass that right leg over the head. There we go. He's got to lever the head backwards, almost fan his leg out, his right leg out, to extend the arm. There we go. Now this is dangerous.
He's got the arm. Can Redford pull out? He's out.
Textbook escape there. He stacked up Veal, pulled his elbow out of danger and circled round into side control here. And now the knee across the belly from Veal. He's going to work to get round to the full guard position, but Redford now is skipping round. He's going to pass the guard. He's going to circle round to that left side. Veal sensed that and pulled the half guard again, Mark.
I think Redford's just going to run out of time here. We just had the 10-second clacker, but you've got to say, impressive work from both guys again in the second round. This is a very, very grueling, grappling-based fight, Dean. But I'd say probably Redford had the better of that second round.
Yeah, purely because the takedown they obtained there, due to that head pressure on the chin and the forward motion. And he used the cage as his friend. He backed up Veal against the cage, circled around ever so slightly to pull him off the cage and drove forward, which ultimately took him down to the mat. And on top, he worked very well. He stayed out of submissions. He made sure that he was always looking to pass into a more dominant position.
Absolutely, he landed some very big right hands in that round. There's one very early on that visibly shook Veal. He did very well to recover from it. His eyes kind of went a little bit. You can see here, sitting cage side, how close we are to the action. He definitely dipped a bit, so he did well to stay in the fight. And now, going into the third and final round, the first round was almost impossible to score. The second round, he's had to say, went to Redford, so Veal has got to put an exclamation mark on this third and final round if he's going to have a chance of coming away with a victory for Tsunami Norfolk tonight. Okay, as we look to get back into the action for round 3, cage is closed and locked. AJ Jeffrey about to get us back underway. Round 3, here we go, third and final round.
Veal's got to put this pressure on Mark. He's got to set up the hands, keep them nice and tight, mix up the strikes, and hide that level change. Nice teak to the body there. Redford stumbling backwards.
He's coming out aggressive, Veal. He knows he's got to make an impact in this round. He's looking for takedown now, and he's got it. Redford back to his feet, though, in front of us here.
Redford looking for the whizzer. The right arm there overhooked over the left arm of Veal. He's keeping his base nice and wide up against that cage.
And again, we're back to, and Redford just falls on top of Veal. Getting the dominant position. Veal's got to move here. He can't be content to stay here.
Veal's going to look to get back to the fence. His corner screaming him, get your back on that fence. They want him to wall walk up against the cage and not be underneath Redford here.
He's doing well to recover full guard there. Right in front of us here. He's now pressed against the cage by Redford. Got to try and get back to his feet here, Veal. Lee Dosky shouting at him, let's go, Chey.
Looking for the hip bump sweep. But the distance was the key there. Redford did a great job of moving his hips backwards. Veal needs to slam his hips and then arch his way to the right side of his body for the hip bump sweep up.
And he's slowly walking his way. He's going to walk his way back up the cage, and he's up. Good work from Chey Veal there. Now let's see what he can do to get out of this position.
Looking to pummel those underhooks in. So he pressures Redford up against the cage. And here we see the pressure now from Veal. He's using his head, just like Redford did earlier on in the fight. He's using that head to disrupt the balance and further elongate Redford out to drop down for the takedown.
Absolutely. I'm always impressed in fighters. Listen to their corner mid-fight. You can see just in front of us here, he was nodding his head at Lee Dosky, following his instructions. Turning Redford down to the cage.
And this is perfect for Veal. He's right in his corner, getting advice from his corner man. And Redford needs to pressure out of this position. He said, perhaps implement a takedown attempt, use that to separate and gain the underhooks.
Again, though, such a grueling round of fighting, Dean. This is really taken out of both men. Veal on Redford like a limpet, looking for that takedown.
This is a huge skill in itself to be in the clinch and mix up the strikes and still work the takedowns whilst keeping your balance. But when we've seen Veal almost pull Redford on top of him, so he's got to be careful about those sacrifice throws.
And Redford is showing great balance on one foot most of the time, because Veal's got one of his legs tied up and he's managed to stand up on one foot, lean against the cage and prevent the takedown. Very impressive stuff from Mr. Redford.
Redford's got some awesome takedown defense and dexterity in those legs. Really aware of his balance, and he's using that whizzer that really controls Veal. Makes it very difficult to get taken down.
Absolutely. Now we're coming to the end of the fight. Veal gets a takedown. That could be huge on the judges' scorecards here, just as we come to the final bell, and there it is. End of the fight. Interesting fight. Very grappling, dominated fight, Dean.
Hard-fought fight against two fighters that you would almost get mixed up if they didn't have different colour trims on their shorts, and they fight very similarly as well. So it's very difficult to score that fight. It's also very difficult to implement your own game plans when the person's almost got the same attributes and technicalities as you. They know what's coming, so they defend against it. But we saw Veal obtain that takedown at the end of the round, and the question is how the judges can see this.
That's a great shout, Veal. Dean, sorry, excuse me. Veal. It's a great shout, Dean. That's a very, very similar skill sets, and that kind of always cancelled each other out in that fight, didn't they? You'd have to say that the most significant shot of the whole fight was in the second round, the big right hand there from Redford. You'd have to say that was enough to win that round for him, and the other two rounds, well, toss of a coin, grappling all the way. We get ready to get the official decision here. Scorecards being added up. Tom Vince coming into the cage.
As a show of appreciation and sportsmanship here, the Contenders 22, all the way in Norwich, in Epic Studios. Dean Miller here along with Mark Keith. Pleasure to be with you here.
Ladies and gents, let's hear it for both these fighters in the cage, please. Give it up. After 3 hard-fought rounds, ladies and gentlemen, the result is a split draw. The judges are unable to separate these two. Give them both a massive hand, ladies and gents.
Representation.